Hey, welcome. I hope you guys are doing good. Thank you so much for joining me. Today's reading is The Person on Your Mind. What have they realized about you? We have 3 groups for you to choose from: Group 1, Group 2, and Group 3. Please feel free to pause the video if you need extra time to choose your group, but I will see you guys in your readings. Hey, welcome. I hope you guys are doing good. Thank you so much for joining me. So if you've chosen the first group, the person on your mind, what have they realized about you? Starting off with the tarot cards, we have the Ace of Wands, the Lovers, and the Hermit in reverse. So it feels like they've realized just how authentic you are, how excitable and brave you can be, and how you make them feel a lot more passionate within their own lives. And that your presence feels like a fresh start for them. They've noticed that you are creative and that you just have this creative energy that motivates people, them included, that you tend to bring energy and vitality into situations and into their life as well, that you are magnetic and you are energizing to be around. They've noticed that you do embody potential and possibility, and you make them and others feel hopeful about the future. They feel you have this energy that is able to inspire people, including themselves. They've realized that a lot of people are curious about you. You have a mysterious edge to you, even if you're an open person, like they do still feel you have this mysterious edge about you. They've realized that you are bold, you are action oriented, and they've also realized that you have a shit ton of sexual appeal, not only to them but to other people as well. And they've also noticed that you are capable of initiating change in anyone's life, including theirs, even if you're not trying to spark change in other people's life, but they just feel your energy is able to do that. Maybe for some of you, maybe that's a part of what you do for work, or maybe that's just the person you are for your friends, your family, acquaintances, and stuff like that. But yeah, they've realized that you are just a naturally warm and charismatic person, that you tend to light up a room, and that you are someone that embodies growth and expansion, and that you are someone who awakens desire in them and other people. For a lot of you, this could be in a sexual way, but it also feels like it's in other ways too. But yeah, they've also realized that you are currently embarking on a new path, that you seem newly inspired and motivated. They also notice that you inspire people to take risks. You're seen as, this vibrant and person that's full of life. They notice that you value deep and meaningful connections, and that they want their connection to you to be even more deep and meaningful than it currently is. They also realize that you do tend to make choices from coming from your heart, but they also realize that you can be indecisive at times. So they've also realized that people tend to seek balance and harmony with you, and that it's something that they personally want more of with you as well, and they want more trust between you guys. They want to make you feel understood and accepted, and they've realized that within themselves. And they've also noticed that even though a lot of people are attracted to you, attracted to your energy, They've noticed that you are often on the outs in certain situations. They do think you're incredibly unique and it makes you stand out, and sometimes it makes you stand apart. They don't feel like it's intentional on your part because they do believe you value connection and partnership, but they also think you're cool with being, a little bit separate from other people. For some of you, that could just be within certain environments. But they kind of realize that you can accept both sides of the coin, like people admiring you, like you having that kind of impact and effect on people, but also maybe not being a part of like, I don't know if a group is the right word, maybe. But yeah, but they have noticed that you do tend to stand apart. But yeah, they've also noticed that you love and you choose love intentionally, and that you can balance passion with sincerity. They've also noticed that you are extremely wise, but you don't share it openly or freely because they believe you don't have much confidence in your wisdom, but they see it and they feel like other people see it as well. They've also realized that on their part, they need to stop withdrawing or isolating themselves from you moving forward, and that they're kind of ready to step out of their own isolation. And it feels like they've also realized within themselves why they have been hesitant to open up, and that they need to close one door before opening another with you. And for some of you, they've realized that you may struggle with feeling a bit disconnected at times. They could feel you are cautious to open up as well, even though they kind of perceive your energy as very open, but maybe when it comes to like maybe really deep things within yourself, that you aren't, just going to open up to just anyone. But they do feel or realize that you have a lot of depth, but you're still learning to let your light be seen, maybe let yourself be seen fully. And they've also realized that you are still learning to trust others. Uh, but they've also noticed that isolation isn't always the best option for you, even though you're still learning to trust others. But moving on, we have revealing your true self. We have balancing masculine and feminine energies. We have job, love what you do and do what you love. We have party, celebrate yourself. We have dreamer, I'm worried you don't feel the same. You seem a little shy and I find it endearing. I'm not really sure what love is or what it's supposed to feel like. We also have no excuses, addictions, and face your fears. So with revealing your true self, they are realizing that you are revealing more and more of who you really are, and that they've noticed that they actually love this person who, like the real you, or the glimpses that they get of the real you. And they realize that you are authentic, even if sometimes I don't know if hold back is the right word, but you only show certain people, certain sides, or whatever it may be. Or if you're not entirely open with everyone, or maybe specifically them, then they're starting to like what they see, especially if they feel like they're getting glimpses of the real you. So with you seem a little shy, and I find it so endearing. Like this person doesn't feel you're shy. But they have realized that you are incredibly endearing, not only to them, but to a lot of people that tend to meet you or know you. And with Dreamer, they realize that you are a dreamer in their opinion. They've also realized that they need to stop making excuses, regarding you. This could be something you're aware of for a lot of you, maybe intuitively, maybe you know it for a fact, but they have been making excuses and they realize that they need to stop because they do want change within your relationship. So with job, it actually feels like they've realized that you hate your job, even if that's not true for you. But yeah, they've noticed that you may hate your job, but there are other things that kind of in your life that fulfill you, maybe hobbies, maybe, friends, family. But yeah. And with Face Your Fears, they do realize that you are someone that does tend to face their fears. And with parties, celebrate yourself. They notice that you know how to celebrate yourself. So this addictions card, it may not be for everyone, but what they've realized, for those of you who will resonate with this message, is that they realize that they will need to work through some of their addictions because they feel that's not something that you would put up with or deal with. So it is something that they need to work on, maybe before they approach you, or maybe before. That was clarified by the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles. So maybe before they do, and we have the Ace of Wands here, maybe before they are able to initiate a new fresh start with you, okay? And with I'm worried you don't feel the same, they realized that you were actually worried that they didn't feel the same as you did for them in their perspective. And finally, no, not finally, I'm not really sure what love is or what it's supposed to feel like. So this could be something that they've actually realized within themselves, and they do realize that that's something that they need to work through as well. This doesn't really feel like something that they feel they need to work on before they approach you or before they move forward with you in some way. But they feel like it's something that they can work on whilst being with you, okay? And finally, with balancing masculine and feminine energies, they realize that they need to be very careful about not throwing you off balance. But that is all I have for those of you who chose the first group. I really do hope it could be helpful and make sense. I'm wishing you guys the best. Please take care of yourself, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Bye. Hey, welcome. I hope you guys are doing good. Thank you so much for joining me. If you've chosen the second group, then this reading could be for you, the person on your mind. What have they realized about you? Okay. So to start off with, we have the Ten of Wands upright, Hierophant upright, and the Nine of Swords in reverse. So what they've realized about you is that they may have put a lot of pressure or responsibility on you, and that they have been selfish, maybe expected too much from you. Some of you could be aware of the pressure they've been putting on you, but for others, maybe you weren't aware. But this is something that they have realized in themselves and in their behavior towards you. They've noticed that you've had to handle a lot in your life, and they've noticed just how resilient you are, or how resilient you've had to be. They also recognize your determination, this could be in general, but also when it comes to overcoming certain challenges, they do think you take on a lot of hard work, maybe unnecessarily, in their opinion. They realize that sometimes you do feel weighed down, but you keep it moving anyway. You don't give up, and that you are a committed person, whether that's to yourself, to your goals, to your family, to your work, to them. And they have realized that you are often committed to seeing things through. They've also realized that you are someone that does tend to make sacrifices for their long-term goals, and that you do struggle with balance. And they feel this way because they notice that you refuse to quit. So they do feel like because you have that tenacity, that it does create an imbalance within your life. Another thing they've noticed is that you are honest, that you embody integrity and principles, and they realize that on their part, they need to encourage more structure between you guys, that you need them to be more of a leader. For some of you, they've realized that you are very religious. They've noticed that you're someone they want to align with spiritually or morally, and that you may need or want more commitment from them. But they've also realized that they may not be able to give you that. They feel you want more authenticity from them, but again, they may not feel like they're able to give you that. But there is like some level where they do want to align with you more. Remain connected to you. But they realize that on their part, it may take them a bit more time to kind of give you the commitment that you want and deserve. Okay. But yeah, they've realized on your part that you do honor commitment, which I think I've said already with the Ten of Wands. But they notice that you are someone others can look up to, that you are a source of wisdom for people or for the people in your life. And they've also realized that you could want the two of you to have shared values. They've also noticed that you are both modern and traditional. They feel you're dedicated to learning and to growth, that you do embody discipline. But they've also realized that you tend to internalize your fears. For some of you, they've realized that you are moving towards a peace of mind, or that you are becoming stronger, or that you are just very mentally resilient, or you're moving in that direction. But yeah, they notice that you are definitely resilient in the face of mental challenges, but you do tend to hide your vulnerabilities. And they also realize that they definitely need to give you clarity after maybe a period of confusion. Like if you guys have been recently going through a confusing period, or a period where there hasn't been much clarity or direction between you guys, then they definitely realize they need to give you clarity moving forward. So we also have stress reduction. We have healthy communication and relationships. We have school. Examine your beliefs about being tested. We have food, eating. Be mindful of the thoughts that you ingest. You are so magical. I don't know how this will end, but I know I want to try. We have I miss you. We have dance for me. We have determination. We have healing. And we also have so pure, but so dirty and raw. So with stress reduction, they do realize that you do tend to keep yourself busy. They could realize that you are stressed. For some of you, they may not even think you kind of like perceive it that way. But they do feel that they need to do more to help with you not feeling stressed, or just doing what they can to help you reduce the stress that you could be feeling, even if you're handling it amazingly. So I know this isn't necessarily I don't know, just take it as it resonates, okay? But with this I miss you card, it feels like they think that you've realized that there is someone, maybe let me see, from their past that could miss them. That was clarified by the Ace of Swords. Maybe they feel that you've realized someone from their past has reached out to them, and that they are trying to rebuild a connection with them. And for some of you, they could actually be rebuilding a connection with this person from the past, but please only take that message if it resonates for you and the person you're asking about, okay? So with You Are So Damn Magical, to put it simply, it feels like they've realized that they need to treat you better, because they do feel like you are a good person, and that they need to do better in that regard. So with healing, they do realize that you are currently healing in ways that they aren't necessarily aware of, but they do see some kind of growth that you are experiencing, shifts in your energy as well. And, with determination, they realize that you are very determined. And with school, it says examine your beliefs about being tested. They've realized that you have been tested a lot throughout your life. And, you've had to learn a lot of difficult lessons, but you're here. And with So Pure Yet So Dirty and Raw, they've realized that you do have this innocence to you. But again, they do feel you've been through a lot, which kind of gives you this edge, but it doesn't take away from your softness or gentleness and innocence that they do feel from you. Now, with food eating, be mindful of the thoughts you're ingesting. They have noticed that you do try to be mindful of the things that you listen to, the things that you kind of internalize and take in. And with, I don't know how this will end, but I know that I want to try. They realize that you still make an effort towards certain things, even if you are very unsure about how certain things are going to pan out. They feel like that's not really a reason or excuse for you to quit, and that's how they feel you tend to move throughout your life. So with dance, for me, for some of you, they've realized that you do like to dance, or you are a good dancer, but for a lot of you, that doesn't really feel like that's the case. It's more so how you walk and how you move through life. It's like very beautiful, very graceful. And finally, with healthy communication in relationships, they've realized that you value healthy communication in general, and that you do like to understand people, understand their thoughts, their perspectives, and maybe their actions as well. Um, but yeah, that's all I have. For those of you who chose this group, I really do hope it could be helpful and make sense, and I'm wishing you the best. Hopefully I'll see you again soon. Please take care. Bye. Hey, welcome. I hope you guys are doing good. Thank you so much for joining me. If you've chosen the third group, then this reading could be for you. The person on your mind, what have they realized about you? You have the Two of Wands, upright, Eight of Pentacles, upright, and the King of Swords in reverse. Okay, so what they've realized about you is that you could be a planner, that you have vision and ambition, that you do tend to weigh your options and possibilities carefully, and that you are mostly future focused in their perspective. They do realize that you want to step out of your comfort zone a lot more than you currently do or currently are able to. For some of you, they realize that you want to step out of your comfort zone more when it comes to them specifically. And they've also realized that they want you to leave your comfort zone for them as well. And that they want expansion and growth with you, and that you might want the same. They may not know for sure, but there's a part of them that feels that you do want the same. And that's something that they maybe are coming to realize. They're also noticing how capable you are of making bold choices, that you do tend to be quite practical, that you are strategic in your decisions, or you at least try to be strategic in your decisions. For some of you, they could just notice that you are quite a strategic person in general, that you're grounded and that you make them feel grounded in return. They've also noticed that you could be done at settling for less, whether that's in general or in relationships and work. But they have noticed that, and that you are a lot of fun, that you are open to adventure. And they've also realized that once you're committed to something, you stay committed, that you do value effort and consistency, that you do tend to be very disciplined, and that you take your craft seriously. This could be maybe you take pride in your work, yourself, maybe someone else, maybe the people in your life. This could be referring to them. But they recognize that you do want to build a strong foundation in your life, but also with them, and that you could be committed to them as well in their perspective. They realize that you do value progress over perfection in your work, which they could feel works for you. They could feel like you are still learning from some of your past experiences. They've recognized that you are very patient, that you have been very patient with them also, and that you are someone that does tend to trust the process in many areas of your life. They realize that you are steadily working towards success, that you are very intelligent, but you're also guarded with your thoughts at times, that you could struggle with overthinking as well. They've also realized that you sometimes withhold clarity or truth. They could think this is mainly in regard to them, and that you do prefer to have control over your words and your actions. So they could just notice that you are a very controlled person in general. But yeah, they realize that you rarely share your full perspective. You do prefer to observe before acting or speaking, or that you just kind of prefer to take a position of an observer. They've also realized that you can be very sharp, but instead you choose to show restraint for the most part. They've noticed that you oftentimes feel misunderstood, and that you can sometimes avoid confrontation. They've also noticed that there are times you like to isolate, and they feel that you're not always the most assertive as well, and that you are still working towards your independence. So moving on, we have socialize or join in. We have spiritual protection. We have car, get into the driver's seat of your life. We have airplane, spread your wings and fly. I'm spying on you. You are the yin to my yang. We have unpredictable. I'm done. Be with me now. You are so sexy. And celebrate yourself. Celebrate life. So I'm going to start off with I'm spying on you. It feels like they've realized that you are someone they enjoy observing. Like before we were talking about how they realize that you are an observer, but they realize that they enjoy observing you, especially in the moments where you may not know they're observing you. So they do like to kind of like check up on you. They do like to spy on you. But yeah, it feels like they've realized within themselves that they do like to keep tabs on you for whatever reason, okay? And with unpredictable, it feels like they've realized that you may not like people who are too unpredictable. They could feel like you do prefer consistency in your relationships. For a lot of you, it may not even be about consistency. They could just feel that you just don't like when people are unpredictable. For some of you, this could be because they recognize that you are an observer. So when something doesn't, remain consistent or it doesn't fit a pattern, they could feel like it, I don't know if bothers you is the right word, but they definitely feel like you don't really like that energy, So with Be With Me Now, they realize that they are extremely attracted to you, physically attracted to you, that they do want a physical relationship with you. If you guys already do have a physical relationship, then, that's a part of your connection they really enjoy. So with car, get into the driver's seat of your life, it feels like they've realized that you may not want people or someone in particular, maybe them, but you don't want people to kind of direct you. You don't want people to be driving, not your car. For some of you, maybe that's the message, that you don't like people driving your car, but for a lot of you, they feel you don't want people to have that kind of control over you in terms of your direction, in terms of your life. Even if it seems to others that you may not have control of your life or the direction that you're going in, they feel like you still don't want people kind of getting involved in that way. So with Celebrate Life, they've realized that you do want to celebrate your life a lot more. You want to have a lot more adventure or a lot more fun. They could feel like where you're at right now, maybe due to certain obligations, maybe due to 10 of Cups came out, so maybe due to family or community or stuff like that, you aren't able to kind of, partake in, things that you might consider adventurous or fun. So another thing they've realized is that they do find you extremely sexy, that other people perceive you that way as well. And with airplanes, spread your wings and fly. It feels like they've realized that you do want more independence, you do want more freedom in your life. So with you are the yin to my yang. For some of you, it feels like, for a lot of you actually, it feels like they've realized that you could be their soulmate, someone that was meant to be in their life. And with I'm done, if this person has been acting a certain way for a certain amount of time towards you, whether they've been aloof, whether they've been a bit distant, whether they've been like not taking action, it feels like they're done with whatever phase or energy they were in when it comes to you and your relationship, and that they realize that they do not necessarily need to make a change, but yeah, for some of you, they realize that they do need to make a change with the sun coming out in reverse. And finally, we have spiritual protection. It says you are being watched over and protected physically, emotionally, and energetically. So it feels like they've noticed that you could be very spiritual, but also that you are quite protective over yourself and maybe certain people in your life. If any of you have kids, that you could be very protective over your children or child, or just very protective over your friends, or maybe you're just a protective person in general for some of you guys. Okay. But that is all I have. For those of you who chose the third group, I really do hope it could be helpful. I'm wishing you the best. Thank you so much for joining me, and hopefully I will see you again soon. Please take care. Bye.